saying that we so close. I'm trying to tell these cats, but I let them do their thing. Ready for the bad news till the phone ring. Son is dead now anyway, over my head. Seeking revenge, son, when you been half trying to check out the drill gun. Conceal guns, play the hum, for real sons. For you motherfucking hoes.
Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. So hope everyone is doing well and I hope you can hear me. So I hope the sound is good. This is the new software that I'm using and the quality I can definitely see is a lot better. So you can now actually see what I'm drawing on the charts. So let's get into it. Let's get into this live stream. So what do I have for today? Well, let me give you a brief introduction of what we will cover. And let me just also add ZDJPY from Oanda. Okay, let's do it like this. So, currently not in any trades, but I'm looking to enter NJ. I'm looking to buy the Nasdaq. I'm looking to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin, damn, we have broken out of this 100K mark and we're just crushing higher. Damn, that's pretty good. So Bitcoin is looking pretty healthy. Okay, that is gonna be the game plan for today's live stream. Cover the free instruments that I wanna buy, then cover the 6 currency pairs that are for the OG strategy, and then we can go through the general watch list. Okay, so let me tell you what I'm looking for. On the daily chart is where I'm starting for this analysis, and the first one on the list is gonna be New Zealand JPY. All of these three instruments have one thing in common. That is that basically the macroeconomic picture is currently risk on, and these three love a risk on environment. So the macroeconomic picture is bullish. Fundamental data on the Edge Finder software that I'm using. Okay, Edge Finder software, I can show it to you right here. I think it's gonna play out. This is the Edge Finder. So we can see that the Nasdaq is very bullish. NZD JPY, very bullish. Bitcoin, bullish as well. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for. And the technicals are looking okay as well. So we have the three things that I need to see are all pointing towards a bullish scenario. Okay, so, and on NJ, I would like to see a bit more bullish pressure. We're gonna start with the daily chart. The daily chart looks all right, but I would like to see just a bit more bullish pressure. If we zoom in on the 1 hour, the 1 hour is where I actually, the 1 hour is what I actually use to take trades, okay? I have my alert set and I would like to see us break this level and then give me a flag or a break and retest or something like that, some sort of an entry. So just a little bit more, just a little bit more bullish pressure, and then I would look to enter. In terms of the stop loss, well, let's see on the daily chart. I would need a pretty big stop loss. I think this is okay. What is this? Let's see. It's around 100 pips. That is good. Below this level of support, I think 100 pips could work here for a stop loss. All right. Definitely think it could work. Again, for this fundamental strategy, for this macroeconomic strategy, I want to have a bigger stop loss. Usually my stop loss size for the old strategy is around 10 to 30 pips. But for this one, look, you want to have your stop loss be very big. You want to give the trade breathing room. You want to give the trade a room to actually retrace and breathe a bit. Okay. So a big stop loss is very, very, very important. All right. And if you can just put it in the chat, if you can hear me all right, that way I will know that I have everything connected well. So yeah, you can just type in the chat if the microphone is okay or not. Yeah, that is what I'm looking for here on NJ. Okay. I know it looks a bit corrective here. I know it looks a bit flat if you look at it like this, but I'm kind of seeing some bullish pressure starting to build, right? I'm seeing some potential bullish pressure starting to build here. So that's nice. I like seeing that. And the key is that the macro picture and the fundamental picture is bullish. One more cool thing about this is if I go long on New Zealand JPY, the swaps are actually positive. Okay, so because of the difference in the interest rates, if you go long on NJ, you will actually get paid every day if you hold the trade. It's not going to be much. I think it's maybe like €3 per one lot. That's at least what my MetaTrader says. But it's still better than having to pay swaps. So instead of having to pay swaps, you actually get paid swaps. And you can also look at it on the Edge Finder. So if I just close this, open up the Edge Finder. Here, you can actually see carry trade scanner. Yeah, here you can actually see with the carry trade scanner that NJ, you can see the base currency rate, that is for the New Zealand, the interest rate is 3.5. The quote one for the Japanese yen is 0.5. The difference is 3%. So that is a good buy setup. Okay, so if you get in on a buy setup on NJ, you will receive swaps. This is a nice tool inside of the Edge Finder. Okay, back to the charts. So the next one for me is going to be the Nasdaq. I'm also looking for buy setups on the Nasdaq. Okay, and also the methodology of how I'm determining whether to take a trade or not is basically that I start with a daily chart. We're definitely in an uptrend. Currently, this is a risk on environment. So looking nicely here, forming an overall uptrend. Okay. I was looking at this level. This level was very important to me. Let me show you which one. This level right here. Okay. That one was very important to me as an area of support and as an area where I was looking for buy setups. We have now kind of moved away from that area. So I'm still looking for pullbacks to there. Okay. There can kind of be two scenarios that I would like to take a trade. The first scenario would be if we, let's say, retrace from here, slowly retrace to here, and then I get a buy setup. Again, I would look for entries on the 1 hour chart. So on the 1 hour chart, if we can kind of slowly pull back to this entry level and then bounce and then get a flag or a break and retest, that would work for me. Okay, that would definitely work for me. That's the first scenario that I would like. Then the second one would be if we actually continue trending up, which would be good because I have a long-term buy setup on the Nasdaq. I have a long-term buy setup on Bitcoin, so it would be good for my long-term holds. But for short-term trading, if we do continue, then I think the new area of support is gonna be somewhere around here, okay, or maybe here below. So what I would then look for is probably if we do continue up, I'll look for a pullback to this level and then an entry setup. On the 1 hour chart, that could mean, so let's say we do continue up a bit more. Let's say we continue up a bit more, okay? And then we start pulling back. You know, I don't want to see a straight drop. I want to see some pullbacks along the way. I want to see price kind of slowly coming down. I don't want to see just a straight sell-off in one massive candle. That would be pretty problematic. So this would be better. Okay. And then a bounce like this, and then like a flag or a break and a retest or a liquidity sweep or a reversal setup, any sort of an entry scenario that I like to use. That's my game plan. Those are the two scenarios. Currently, though, not really producing entries for me. It's not really pulling back. I need to see that pullback, and then I would be happy to get in. So NJ, I think NJ is the one that will give me an opportunity first. Let's see it again. It's actually pushing up higher now. Yeah, NJ is pushing up higher. That's pretty good. Nasdaq, Bitcoin is the next one on the list. Okay, daily chart is just kind of exploding to the upside. We crushed the 100K mark. So, wow, Bitcoin is moving quite nicely. What I was looking for buy setups was this area. Okay, this area here. Hey, kiddos, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or you want to see some charts, definitely put it in the chat. So I have my chat open here on the side. I'm reading through questions. So yeah, definitely if you want to be active in the chat, works for me, makes the streams more fun and makes the streams more interactive. Okay. So I was looking at this area for the price to potentially retrace like this. Now we have moved quite a bit too much from that area. Okay, so the next one that I will be looking for is if we can pull back to here. Okay, this is the next area on my list, or next area in my trade plan. What I would like to see is on the 1 hour chart if we can pull back in a bit of a slower fashion, like this, okay, and then go up. And then get a flag setup. Okay, right here, get a flag entry. That would be good for me. That's my game plan for Bitcoin. We have a question from Kidus. So what do you think about yesterday's Fed meeting? I think it's hawkish. Yeah, so we had the Fed meeting. I think it's gonna be here, yeah. I was actually watching this live. If you wanna watch the Fed meeting live, you can do it on their YouTube channel, okay? The Federal Reserve actually has a YouTube channel where they live stream their press conferences. So in terms of the interest rate decision, it remained the same. Okay, interest rate decision remained the same. But usually the most important part is not the interest rate, it is the actual forward guidance that is given on the press conference. So the interest rate decision came at around 7 p.m. London time, and then the press conference is around 7:30 London time. In the press conference, it lasts for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then Powell receives a lot of questions from the press. I would say it was hawkish. Okay, I would say it was hawkish. For this year, I think there were 3 interest rate cuts that were expected. And because of Powell's talk yesterday, he mentioned that they are not really sure when to cut. They need more data. They're worried about the tariffs. They are worried about potential inflation. They're worried about potential also economic growth. So they're worried about a lot of things. But he seemed a bit hesitant to be dovish on the conference, okay? So he seemed a bit hesitant to mention the rate cuts, which means that he had a hawkish stance. For you guys that don't know, dovish means that the Fed will lower interest rates. Okay, hawkish means that the Fed will actually raise interest rates. Okay, so yeah, that's the difference between dovish and hawkish. I don't think they're gonna be raising rates, but they will maybe hold this current rate, so 4.5%. They may hold it for more time than expected. And that is actually a hawkish scenario. So I'm basically I have the same opinion as Kidus. It was slightly hawkish. What does it mean? Well, that is actually bearish for stocks, could be bearish for stocks, and should be bullish for the US dollar. Okay, in theory, usually when the central bank is hawkish, that is bearish for the underlying economy, bearish for stocks, and bullish for the underlying currency, bullish for the US dollar. Okay. What is the difference now? Well, currently we have a lot of tariffs, and the tariffs are the thing that runs the narrative. The tariffs are the thing that actually runs the game. So basically, with the tariffs, you never know what is going to happen. That is why the market currently heavily relies on the tariff news and not really on the news that comes from economic data or, let's say, a speech from Powell. Currently, it is all about the tariffs. So I hope that clears things up. Hopefully that's helpful. That's my game plan for Bitcoin. Okay, that is my game plan for Bitcoin. Looking for buy setups in that area. Scrummy, hey, what's up? Greetings to all Zentum traders. Yeah, if there are any Zentum traders watching, hello guys and welcome to the stream. For those of you that still haven't joined Zentum Trading, you can do so for free. Okay, go to zentumtrading.com. I'll actually put in the link. Let me see. Let me put in the link, zentumtrading.com, in the chat. Okay. So you can actually join for free. And then if you want to become a paid member, get access to everything, you can do so as well. So for those of you that just joined, I'm looking for buy setups on NJ, the Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. And the star of the show, today's let's say chart of the day, is Bitcoin, definitely. So we crushed the 100K mark. We are very bullish on this daily chart. I'm looking for pullbacks into this area. I want to see price hit levels of support. Okay, I want to see price hit levels of support, maybe pull back a bit, retrace a bit, reject, get a flag, get a break and retest, get a reversal, get a liquidity sweep. So that is my game plan for Bitcoin. Okay, that's about it for these ones. Now I want to do, I want to quickly glance over some of the currencies that I'm watching. Okay, looking at the currencies, let's go first. Let's first do the dollar currencies. Then we'll do the yen ones. Okay. So, euro dollar is pretty flat on the 1 hour chart. Pretty flat, pretty corrective. I wasn't looking for much, still being patient. Pound, I liked this momentum right here. Okay, I definitely like this momentum, but we just could not commit. We just could not commit with more bullish momentum. Instead, we retraced. Okay, instead we got a lot of actually selling pressure, which I personally didn't like at all. So pound is still flat, pound is still corrective, I have to say. Aussie dollar, same story. As you can see, the dollar pairs seem to be pretty corrective. This is the DXY. This is the dollar index. It measures the strength of the US dollar compared to other currencies, okay, compared to a basket of currencies. It's going up. We had the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting was hawkish. Hawkish means bullish for the US dollar. The DXY is making some gains, okay? Making some gains here in the 1 hour chart after that press conference. So actually the reaction on the price is as expected. Definitely looking as expected with that talk from Powell. Okay. Unfortunately, on the dollar pairs, we're just not yet getting that sustained uptrend or sustained downtrend. Vladon, hey, what's up? How are you doing? For the JPY pairs, they're actually moving up. You know, they're moving up, not really with much force on this 1 hour chart, but they are moving to the upside. So, EJ kind of actually ascending to the upside, breaking those highs and retracing, okay? Which could be a bearish pattern, right? It could be this ascending channel. So could be a bearish pattern. Now, one thing you have to note is I'm talking about the first strategy that I trade. So I trade two strategies. The first one is purely 1 hour chart, no indicators, no news, only technical analysis. And the second strategy is fundamental analysis, macroeconomic analysis, daily chart, 4 hour chart, 1 hour chart, and technical analysis for the entries and for support and resistance levels. Okay, so all sorts of things are going into the second strategy, but the first strategy is just technical analysis, 1 hour chart. So technical analysis looks bearish for EJ. Okay, we have some comments. Kidus says, Marco, how do you build a trading capital? Trading with our bigger capital is hard. How do you manage that? If you have some advice on that, thanks. I would say that trading capital is one of the hardest things that retail traders have to deal with. I think it is the reason that most retail traders fail, because they are undercapitalized, they have to risk a lot, they get into big drawdowns. Even when they make money, they make very little. I mean, if you have, let's say, a 5K account and you make 2 to 3% per month, which is amazing. If you can make 2 to 3% per month on average on a 5K account, that is absolutely amazing. But in monetary terms, it's not enough to even pay the electricity bills, you know. So capital is the main issue for retail traders. The best way to deal with that is prop firms, and you can look at Darwin X Zero. I would focus on prop firms though. Prop firms are more powerful for getting capital. I mean, if you deploy $500 into FTMO or the 5%ers, you can get access to, it's not 100K. They say it's a 100K account, but the thing that you can actually use is 10,000 because you can only go 10% into drawdown on a 100K account. So what you actually get is you get $10,000 of available capital for 500. Now that's good. That's a good deal. Of course, you need to pass phase 1, pass phase 2, but it's much better if you, let's say, get funded by let's say $400,000. It's not $400,000. It's actually $40,000, and it's gonna cost you $500 per account. That's 4 accounts, so around $2,000. So essentially, you can not turn, but you can use $2,000 to get 40K in trading capital. Okay, and you can risk a bit more because it's prop firms. Risk management, you can be more aggressive. So prop firms, in my opinion, are the best way to grow your trading capital. FTMO, the 5%ers, you can use my links in the description of this video if you want to help out the channel. Still the best way to access bigger capital. And also, I definitely want to stress that capitalization or having too little capital is the main issue. That's the main issue for retail traders. Second thing, you can go to Darwin X Zero. You can start building a track record. You can possibly try to get an allocation from Darwin X. That's your second option. I would say prop firms are more powerful if you're going to put your money somewhere. And if you have a proven trading edge, I would say go with prop firms first. Okay, and then to Darwin X Zero. Darwin X Zero is more long-term where you can actually build a track record. If you already have a nice track record, you can try getting investors, friends, family, outside investors, start doing social media, talk about how much you're making per month, let's say, and then you will start to attract some people. But that's really, I would say, advanced way of attracting capital. So, but it's an option as well. If you have a good, consistent track record, you can get capital from investors if the track record is good. Fourth option is to get a job at a prop firm, not FTMO. FTMO is not a real prop firm. FTMO, they make all of their money from the failed challenge fees. They don't want you to make money in trading, okay? I'm not saying it's not possible to make money with FTMO, but you need to know who you're up against. You can actually join and work at a real prop firm, okay? They are looking for real traders. They're looking for people that love trading. They're looking for people that can be consistent, that have a trading edge, and then they will give you funding. They will actually give you the massive capital that you need and access to trading specific instruments with low spreads, low commissions, and just good trading conditions overall, which is something we as retail traders struggle with. I mean, I personally cannot trade options because my account is too small and I'm in Europe. I'm having trouble trading stocks as well. If I want to trade stocks, the options are for me are kind of limited because I'm in Europe and because I don't have a big enough capital. So you have 4 options. The most powerful one is, if you're ready, prop firms. Vladon says, I just entered a long on NJ. Have a look as well if you can. Love your content. Thank you very much. Thank you for the feedback. Entered in the morning before the pump. Nice. So for me, NJ is on the watch list. Looking very good. Also, so why I personally like NJ is macroeconomic picture is currently risk on. How do we know that? Well, stocks are going up. That's a telltale sign that the market is in a risk on environment. So NJ is good. No worries, Kidus. If you have any more questions, definitely put them in the chat. So NJ is good because of the macroeconomic environment, which is risk on. Second thing for NJ, fundamental analysis. Okay, so fundamental analysis. Whoop, I pressed the wrong screen. If we go to the Edge Finder, What are you waiting for to enter long on NJ? Yep, I'll definitely mention that. If we go to top setups, NJ very bullish. Okay, so looks great, looks healthy. You can see the very bullish bias. You can see basically what happened. Well, GDP is good. Unemployment rate is good. Employment change, inflation is good. Retail sales are good. Okay, so you're comparing two economies. You're comparing the New Zealand economy to Japan's economy. What is currently happening is New Zealand is doing good in terms of economic data. Japan is doing bad. Okay, so Japan is missing numbers. As you can see here, I think it's GDPB. So miss, right? And you can see that New Zealand is beating, PMIs, retail. So this is all economic data. You can also view it here, NZD JPY. This is a much clearer view. So in terms of all of these numbers, New Zealand is beating the Japanese yen. So the currency should go up, okay? That's the fundamental analysis. Technical analysis, the daily chart looks okay. I would like to see just a little bit more bullish pressure. So Vladone, I'm looking for just a little bit more bullish momentum. I actually take my entries. I take my entries on the 1 hour chart. Okay. Whoop. I take my entries on the 1 hour chart. Let's move this a little bit higher. So what I would like to see, just a bit more bullish momentum and then a flag or a break and retest or some sort of a technical entry on the 1 hour chart. I would probably have like 100 pip stop loss. So a pretty massive stop loss is what I would use. And that would be enough for me to take this trade. So what am I looking for? Just a little bit more bullish momentum. Okay, so to get back to the story, what am I looking for on the JPY pairs? Well, EJ looks ascending, so it looks a bit bearish. AJ looks flat. NJ for this first strategy that I trade, it looks flat as well. So just for new viewers, I'm trading two strategies, okay? For the fundamental strategy, this is what I'm looking for. For the first strategy, this is what I'm looking for. Vladon says I trade on 4 hour time frame, so I have a big stop loss as well. Nice. I mean, a big stop loss is definitely something that we need to use if you're trading fundamental analysis. Okay, so if you're trading fundamental analysis, a big stop loss is a must in my opinion. Something like this looks good on the 4 hour. It gives the trade a lot of breathing room and it can keep you in even if we do decide to range around a bit more, you know, if we do decide to range around and then explode to the upside. Kidus says, do you have fixed risk to reward ratio? No, so I'm using a trailing stop loss. Okay, so NJ, let's say I get in here with a stop loss like this. Let's say I get fortunate enough that the price decides to go up. Well, as the price keeps going up, I'm just trailing the position underneath these swing lows. Okay, so when the price does decide to reverse, I'll get taken out. Because I don't really know when the price will reverse, I use a trailing stop loss and I let the market take me out. I'm not sure where to put my take profit, maybe above the previous swing high. Well, all depends. Are you using a fixed take profit or are you using basically a trailing stop loss? If you're trading like Nick, that's trader Nick, for you guys that don't know, if you're trading like Nick, he uses fixed take profits for Forex. Okay, so he uses a trailing stop loss for indices, trailing stop loss for metals, commodities, I believe, but for Forex, he uses fixed take profits. I think his first take profit may be here. You know, this is a nice level. This is a nice swing high. You could take some off at this level. Second level, you could say is up here. You know, this is a nice level as well. But I would say the most significant level is here. You have two highs on the daily chart. So you can scale out of your position. If you're long right here, let's say you entered a bit lower. If you have a stop loss like this, you can take half off at this level and let the rest run. Okay, maybe take the rest off at this level. So I would say if you're trading like Nick, this is the first level that you should be looking at, definitely. Okay, definitely this one. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, for any Zentum traders that are trading the OG strategy with me, nothing is really setting up right now. The dollar pairs, I mean, EU is dropping, but it's not really moving with a lot of momentum. Okay, so Kidus says, Marco, what do you think about the euro dollar? Well, we can start with the daily chart. For the euro dollar, first I'm looking at the macroeconomic story, which currently could be still a bit overall bullish for the euro dollar. So that's bullish. Second thing, so I can put it like this. First, macro is bullish. Second, fundamental. I think it's neutral. We can check. If we go to the edge finder, if we go to Euro USD, neutral. Okay, neutral bias. That's neutral. Third part is the daily chart. The daily chart is, I would say I need to see it pull back a little bit more. Okay, so two things are not right. Fundamental analysis is currently not bullish, so I cannot look for buy setups. And the daily chart, I would like to see it retrace to another level of support, you know, so possibly hit this level. That would be nice. If we can hit this level, if we can get a nice fundamentally bullish reading, I would be pretty happy to look for buy setups. For now, I'm pausing. I'm staying away from the euro dollar. And yeah, that's about it. So Connor J says, do you use the daily chart for the OG strategy also? No. So OG strategy, only 1 hour chart, only technical analysis, no indicators, no news, simple patterns, trailing stop loss, simple entry patterns, flags, break and retests, liquidity sweeps, reversals. Okay, that is the OG strategy. Currently, the summary for the OG strategy is that nothing is really setting up on my 1 hour chart. Okay, nothing is really setting up except Euro Yen, which is producing this ascending channel pattern. Okay, this ascending channel pattern, and that is a bearish pattern. That can produce reversal setups. Okay, now Kido says, Marco, can you explain the concept of your strategy, just basic concept? I have two strategies, so if you can just mention, are you referring to the OG strategy or are you referring to the fundamental strategy? Okay, just put it in the chat and then I'll know which one, the first one or the second one. Okay, first one or the second one. Vladon says, do you own any crypto? Yeah, okay, so you want the OG strategy, sure. Valdon says, do you own any crypto? Yeah, I do have Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think I bought, last buy was at around this level. Okay, I think I bought back in November of 24. So currently up a little bit. My ledger is up just a little bit. I own Bitcoin, 75%. What I have from crypto is in Bitcoin. 25% is in the shitcoin Ethereum. Where is it? Here. Okay. Nice, damn. We're pumping up on Ethereum. So Ethereum I bought here at this level. So I bought again in November of 2024. Okay, that is when I bought that is when I bought Ethereum. So currently, unfortunately, overall break even. If you sum up the current Bitcoin, let's say percentage, and the current Ethereum percentage, I would say it's around break even from when I entered in November of 2024. Am I looking to buy more? No, I'm actually buying stocks, okay, for long-term setups. I bought S&P, this level, this level, this level. So I think I bought at around 3 levels. Currently in some nice profits on this. Not yet looking to buy more. If we get some major problems with the tariffs and the S&P decides to melt, I'll definitely look to buy more. Okay, in that case, I'll definitely look to get in on some more buy setups. Now, let me explain the OG strategy. Okay, so it's very simple. It's very simple. Let me see if I can find a specific entry that happened recently. I think on EJ possibly we had an entry. Let me see. Yeah, okay, this can be an entry. It's not really that high probability, to be honest. Okay, this entry is not really looking the greatest, but I wouldn't take this live, but it's good for just an example. So what I'm looking for is first 1 hour chart, just the 1 hour chart, just these 6 currency pairs, looking at momentum, finding momentum. This is good. This is a good signature of momentum. Okay, at this point, I'm looking for an entry setup. I have a couple of them. It's all technical analysis, very simple stuff. Flag, pullback, break of the high, retest. You could even get some sort of a liquidity sweep. You could get a reversal. So there are a couple of them. My favorite ones are the flag and the break and retest. In this case, we pulled back a little bit. Okay, we got a pullback right here. Just one candle pullback. At this point, you could say that the momentum continued, even though it wasn't looking the greatest. But let's say you liked it. You put your order for a retest of this level. I use a tight stop loss for this strategy, okay, between 10 and 30 pips, depending on the market volatility. I think for this volatility, I would use 25 pips. Something like this looks okay. Then the price came lower, tagged my level, okay, I'm in the trade. After that, I trail my position with a trailing stop loss, okay. So at this point, I would move it underneath the swing low, like this. And price would take me out for around 1.7%. Okay, so hopefully that clears it up. Very simple stuff, nothing complicated. Very easy strategy, purely technical analysis, 1 hour chart, tight stop loss, trailing, tight stop loss, and then a trailing stop loss. Okay, and what's cool is I use the same sort of technical analysis entries on the 1 hour chart for the OG strategy and for the fundamental strategy as well. So that's pretty cool that I'm combining both of them in a way. Okay, now Flow says I'm 6% in profit on phase 1 200k FTMO challenge. I risk 0.2% per day. Should I add more risk? Well, that heavily depends on the way that you're trading. Okay, heavily depends on the way that you are trading. I would say you have to give me more information. So first, tell me what is the average number of trades that you're doing either per week or per month. Okay, give me the average number of trades. Give me the average win rate. And if you know the average risk to reward. Okay, so if you can give me those 3 things, I can give you more information, because currently I don't have any information. So if you can write down how many trades per month you're taking, let's say, win rate and average risk to reward, okay, then I will be able to help you. from what I would say is you're currently 6% in profit and you use 0.2% risk. I would say that you probably take maybe 2 to 3 trades per day, maybe even more. So you're probably a day trader / maybe even a scalper. So you're trading a lot of trades per week, a lot of trades per month. 0.2% risk is okay, to be honest. If you're a scalper, 0.2% risk is healthy. If you're a swing trader like me, I personally risk 1%, okay, on FTMO. I risk 1% on FTMO, but the reason is because I usually take 1 to 2 trades per week, okay? So the number of trades I'm taking per week or per month is very low number of trades. So I have to keep my risk high because otherwise I just would not get any trades, to be honest. Or I would not make any percentage. If I risk 0.2% and I'm getting like, I don't know, maybe 4 to 10 trades per month, that's pretty bad. Okay, we have the data. Win rate 70%, risk to reward 1-to-1, from 4 to 6 per day. Have like minus 2k losses. How do you have to? You mean like daily losses? Did you hit like minus 2k in one day? So from these statistics, you're taking 4 to 6 trades per day. I would not go more than 0.2%. I think 0.2% is actually quite high. I would even lower it to maybe 0.15 or 0.1%, but that's just me, you know. Definitely my advice is to stick to 0.2% with these sort of statistics. You can get a losing streak. If you bump it up to 0.5, let's say you lose 6 trades per day, you know, 6 times 0.5, that's minus 3% in one day. That's quite a lot. So I would keep it at 0.2%. I think you're doing fine. If you are already 6% in profit, you're doing great. So trading is a game of patience. FTMO no longer has a time limit. Okay, so a time limit no longer exists. No need to rush. Take it slow, take it easy. Have good risk management. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, so you over risked in one day and you lost 2k. That's bad. You should put a process in place so that it doesn't happen again. Okay, you should heavily work on your risk management. Risk management is the second biggest problem of basically retail traders. First one is not having enough capital. Second one is risk management. Stick to 0.2%. 0.2%. So you risk 0.2% per day. I would risk 0.2% per trade. Okay, you can risk 0.2% per trade, and you can have a daily stop loss of 1%. Okay, maybe a daily stop loss of not 1%, maybe like 0.6, 0.8%. That's a good daily stop loss. When you hit it, when you lose more than 0.8% per day, stop trading. Okay, stop trading for that day. Yeah, that's my best advice. Use low risk. You already made 6%. You can make the other 4 that you need to pass phase 1. Just be patient. Okay, so today I had 15 lots, for example, on euro dollar. So I need a break because I'm too impulsive. Normally I use 2 lots per position. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That tells me that your risk management is all over the place. I would be really careful. 15 lots it's just too much, okay? If you normally use 2 lots and now you're using 15, that means you made a significant mistake in your live trading, okay? That's a massive mistake. Stick to fixed risks, stick to low risk, stick to fixed risk, and have a trade journal as well, okay? Journal what you did, journal the mistake, see how you can avoid repeating that mistake, okay? You can have an entry checklist. Entry checklists are great because before you take a trade, quickly run through a couple of points. In the checklist, write down exactly how much risk you need to be using so that it reminds you not to slap on 15 lots. Okay, so have an entry checklist. Going back to it, JPY pairs are pumping up a little bit. Okay, interesting. What are the big instruments doing? What are the most popular assets doing? So we still haven't covered gold and silver or oil. Oil is actually up on the day. That's good. Okay, that's looking nice. Yeah, no worries, no flow. Hopefully that helps you. Just be careful with the risk management. Okay, you're doing well. 6% in profit is great. Just keep it steady. Don't rush. You don't have a time limit. There's no need to rush. Take it easy and do good risk management. Okay. So we have another question from Elafi. I will just do gold before we cover your question. Okay, so let's do gold. Gold is, look, what I ask myself first is what is the macro environment doing? Because I need three things to line up. I need the macro environment to be bullish, I need the fundamental analysis to be bullish, and I need the technical analysis to be bullish on the daily chart and on the 1 hour chart. Okay. So for gold, macroeconomic picture is currently slightly risk on. That is bearish for gold. Fundamental analysis is kind of neutral for gold right now. Technical analysis is bullish. I'm not gonna lie, the daily chart looks very bullish. But for gold, I'm currently being patient. I'm currently looking to buy risk on assets, currently looking to buy stocks, currently looking to buy Bitcoin. That means I don't want to buy gold. If things change, so if macroeconomic picture comes back to being risk off, if we have a lot of drama with tariffs, if the tariffs push the price or push the price of stocks much lower, so if the stocks continue selling off, then gold is gonna like that a lot. And that is gonna be good if I wanna look for buy trades, okay? So I'm waiting for a shift in narrative, and I'm waiting for a bit better numbers in terms of fundamental analysis. Okay, waiting for a bit more numbers from fundamental analysis. We can search it up on the Edge Finder, gold. So if you guys want to get the Edge Finder, you have a big discount using my code. My code is MARKO. Okay, so if you want to use my code, support the channel, get the Edge Finder for a big discount, you can do that. Okay, gold is neutral right now. So if this bias becomes bullish or very bullish, I'll be pretty happy to, again, consider buy setups. Until that happens, I will remain patient on gold. So Elafi says, hello Marco, I just heard about the Zentum community. I wonder if you share your entry positions and why, like Trader Nick does in his Discord channel. So we don't do signals. We only do post-trade analysis, okay? So once we take a trade, we then wait for the price to move away from the entry area, because otherwise it would just be considered a signal. Once the price moves away from the entry area, then we discuss the trade. Okay, then we actually discuss the trade in our Discord floor. We have the virtual trade floor, channel, and that is where all of the trades get posted. But we don't do live signals. What we also give you is we give you weekly calls, private or basically a premium Discord community, one-to-one access to the mentors. You can send us a DM. We're very active on Discord. Educational videos. So basically we teach you everything you need to know to go from zero to consistently profitable through those educational videos, which are on our website, and you get a weekly trade recap on the weekend. Okay, so once per week we film a trade recap. We discuss every trade that we took. We discuss any trades that formed and we didn't take, and we discuss fundamentals, we discuss macroeconomic picture. So you get basically you get a breakdown of what has been happening in the last week. Okay. So also for anyone that wants to join Zentum trading for free, you can join our free Discord using the link in the chat. Okay, so you can join absolutely for free, and if you want to get access to the premium features, you can become a paid member. So hopefully that clears it up. Silver is the next one on my list. Okay, we're doing some metals. Silver is the next one that is interesting to me. And for silver, it's flat. I mean, macro picture still risk on, slight risk on, which is kind of bearish for silver. Fundamental picture is kind of neutral, and then the technical analysis on the daily chart, we're just flat. So for me to become a bull, for me to become bullish on silver, I would want to see price break these highs. Okay, I would want to see price break these highs with conviction. And then I would consider getting in on some buy setups. Okay, so I need to see more momentum. I need to see a breakout of these highs. That's about it for silver. The VIX, which is very important for the stock market, it is the volatility of the S&P 500. Usually the correlation is when the VIX goes up, stocks go down. When the VIX goes down, stocks go up. You can see that now. VIX is down minus 5.5%. Stocks are up plus 1.5%. Okay. So you can definitely see that. Right here. Gold we covered. Being patient. Silver, I'm being patient. Ethereum still looks pretty bad, but we have broken this. Have we broken the trend line? Let me see. Yeah, we kind of have. If you want to draw this sort of a trend line, we have kind of broken out of that. Okay, so that's a bit bullish. I personally prefer Bitcoin a lot more. I think Bitcoin is the stronger player. I think Bitcoin is the one that moves a lot more than Ethereum. Ethereum, if you zoom out a bit, doesn't look as good as Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin looks a lot more overall bullish, a lot more healthy. Okay, and getting back to Ethereum, I mean, that's about it. DXY, so the strength of the US dollar, actually pushing higher a lot after the Fed conference. We had the Fed press conference. Don't know if you guys saw it or not. Basically, the number came out the same, 4.5, but the press conference, Powell's speech was hawkish. Okay, hawkish means bad for the US economy, means bad for US stocks, but it means bullish for the US dollar. That is kind of the reaction we're getting, at least for the US dollar. We are appreciating in value. Okay, so yeah, we are definitely moving up after the press conference. That is interesting. JXY, this is the Japanese yen index. This is the measurement of the strength of the Japanese yen relative to other currencies. You can see we are in a risk, the daily chart. We are in a risk-off environment, risk-on environment, which means JXY is going down. Japanese yen, safe haven asset, and it is right now losing value, as we can see here, because of the overall risk-on environment. And kind of the final one I have for today. So I'm going to be wrapping up this stream pretty soon. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any chart requests, definitely put them in the chat. I have the chat open on the side, and we can do some more charts or just questions. We can cover that as well. Now let's do US oil. US oil on the daily chart. I mean, technically it looks bearish. Let's see the edge finder. What's the ticker of the edge finder? US oil. Okay, neutral, slightly bullish, but the edge finder gives a neutral bias. The thing with US oil is if it goes any lower, so if US oil goes any lower than, let's say, 50, then a lot of oil producers are going to be out of business. Okay, if price of oil goes below 50, that means it's no longer viable for a lot of oil producers to keep digging out oil or keep pumping oil. Because if they put their income and expenses on paper, or like revenue and expenses, they're going to be in the negative. because it does cost a lot of money to actually drill out oil, to prepare all of the locations, to put all of the machines there, to buy the land, blah, 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 blah. So this is a key area, I would say, this right here. I would say we're not gonna go much lower than this. Okay, I would say we're not gonna go much lower than this because the big oil cartel, the big oil companies, they don't want to see oil prices drop down because they'll be out of business. So I think that will support a bullish scenario for oil, or at least we're going to range around this level. Although the technical analysis looks bearish, I personally would much prefer get in on some possible buy setups if they do occur. You know, if we flip a bit, if the macro becomes bullish for oil, if fundamental analysis gives me a bullish reading, if we get a good push up, I would actually consider some buy setups, because you have to think about how the big oil producers will react if the price approaches this level. And I think they will try to defend this level with any means that they have. So I'm not really bearish on oil. Okay, Elafi says, thank you, that's great, I will consider it because I'm looking for a community to share some ideas, because sometimes I feel alone with no friends that trade like I do. I know exactly what you mean. Trading alone is the worst thing ever. So being alone in this game of trading, which is already super tough, and then you have a losing streak, and then you have a drawdown, and you have no one to talk to because none of your friends from high school or from college really understand trading, that is a bad place. So having a community, having people you can speak to, having, let's say, weekly calls, which we have in Zentum, that gives you another perspective. You're surrounding yourself with real traders that know what you're going through, that can actually help you. So I would highly recommend joining a community. If Zentum trading is maybe not for you, join another community. But I think joining a community, any community, finding with real traders, or finding trading buddies is going to massively help you with your psychology. As I mentioned, when you're in a drawdown, when you're losing money, it's a bad place in your head, and you don't have anyone to share your experience with because no one understands you. You're very likely to either blow your account or just quit trading altogether. So having a good supportive community, having good supportive trading buddies is very, very important. People don't even understand how important that is. Okay. And that's about it. I unfortunately have to go, but thank you guys very much for the questions. I like having a lot of questions, makes things interactive, makes it much more fun for me that I'm just not staring at my PC screen and talking to a camera by myself. So thank you very much for the questions. Keep them coming. If you want to get updates on when the next live stream will be, definitely follow me on what is it? Instagram. So there is my Instagram handle. I put it in the chat. You can find it in the description of this live stream as well. Check me out on there. Follow me. Usually I stream every Thursday at around 5 p.m. London time. Around 5 p.m. London time. Maybe half an hour later, half an hour sooner, around 5 p.m. That is where you can find me every Thursday. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will wrap up